Just enough time to say CNN Newsroom continues right now with Don Lemon in for Ali Velshi.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Here's what I've got on the rundown, Mr. Tony Harris. 52 days into this Gulf oil disaster, is the real story being allowed to be told? There are disturbing reports out today that the media is not being given access to the worst of it. We're going to investigate it for you this hour. And a big Hollywood star and his company, they come to the rescue, offering a solution to this oil disaster. What will they have to say? And BP has brought into their plan. We'll talk to them live this hour. Hey, let's talk now about some possible solutions to this Gulf oil catastrophe. Joining me now is the CEO of Ocean Therapy Solutions, a developer of centrifuges that separate oil from water. Thank you guys for joining us. It's John Houghtaling and also Patrick Smith. You guys work together with the Hollywood star Kevin Costner on this. Tell me, Mr. Houghtaling, how did you and Mr. Costner get in touch to do this project? And then I'm going to ask you about what it does.
Well, Kevin's been involved with this for a long time. You know, Kevin started this process about 15 years ago. And, you know, he developed this technology, put about $24 million of his own money into it. He brought it to the industry. He brought it to the industry 10 years ago with this technology that works. It's technology that's not adapted. It's technology that was actually designed for a major oil spill.
Yeah,
like
and I see Patrick Smith wants to get in on this. Tell me about how this actually works, this centrifuge. You have fashioned it so that it can supposedly suck oil out of water, salt water?
That's correct.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
It's so efficient. It's amazing. The technology's been around. It was developed by the Department of Energy 15 years ago. And it is so efficient that it can pull 99.9% of the oil out of water. Mm-hmm. So we're putting water back into the ocean effectively very clean.
So far, BP has signed on to this, and I think they've bought 32. I think you suggested, Mr. Houghtaling, that they buy 50 of them, but they bought 32. Do you know if they're in action or when they're going to get to them and when they might be using them?
Well, we currently have 10 on the ground now that they're being deployed on vessels as we speak. We have ramped the factory up, and the factory's been dormant for about a decade because there hasn't been an interest in it up until now. But we've ramped the factory up. We're also in discussions with Edison West, which is the largest offshore supply company in the Gulf. They're going to help us deploy these machines out as soon as we can. We're going to ramp up as quickly as we can.
Okay, Mr. Smith, and what I was trying to get from you, if I was, let's just say, a 10th grader, because sometimes I think like that, explain to me how this process works, because people are at home going, what is a centrifuge? How does it suck oil out of the ocean? How can it do that? And so explain to me how that would happen.
Well, basically what happens is right now the old pitchfork and shovel are kind of being used with booms and skimmers and those types of technology. The oil is actually being pushed and put into barges, and inside the barge, one of the arms of the centrifuge goes in just basically like a straw, like a big suction tube, and it'll bring out a combination of water and oil. The oil will go back into the barge clean, and the water can actually be deployed overboard back into the ocean, so we don't have a huge shipload of mixture of oil and water. So it actually brings the oil to a point where it could be commercially reusable and doesn't need to load up the cargo, going back to shore, half oil, half water, or 90% water, 10% oil.
And when you are a big real estate guy, you're a big attorney, Mr. Houghtaling, but you know Kevin Costner's a big Hollywood star and cares about this. I want you to listen to him while you're out talking about this. He's testifying in front of Congress. Take a listen.
My enthusiasm for what the machine could do was met with apathy, a refusal to move off the status quo. The list of government agencies, oil companies, and foreign companies we contacted reads like a who's who of those who needed it, those who should have been looking for it, and probably more to the point, those who should have been developing it themselves. I was told that it was too expensive, that there was no need, that the spills were becoming less frequent, at least the ones we could see.
So he is passionate about this, and we're being told that these machines can collect about 210,000 gallons of oil a day from the ocean, and if it had been used after Exxon Valdez, it could have been cleaned up a whole lot faster.
That's correct. Actually, Kevin made the statement that had he been on site with 20 of these V20 machines, he probably could have cleaned up Valdez in a week.
Great. Mr. Houghtaling and Mr. Smith, thank you very much. We'll be watching your progress because we have crews, as you know, stationed down in the Gulf, and CNN has been on top of this. We want to get to the bottom of this. Of course, everyone wants the oil to stop, and we hope your project helps and it works.
Thank you. It's important for our state. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Don.
So listen, we're bringing you 5 ideas a day to help the Gulf. So make sure you stay tuned to CNN. 5 ideas a day to help the Gulf of Mexico.